Assalamualaikum everyone, back again in our YouTube channel. The content of the video are speeches about mathematics. I was given the task of changing the sound of this video with my voice. Curious about the result? Let's check this out. %26. On the national report card that the percentage of US 12th grader were proficient in math. In America, we pride ourselves as being an exceptional country, but does 26% sound exceptional to you? Raise your hand if you think as a country we need to do way better than this. I'm with you. We all need math, but why are so many kids confused by it? It is because only 26% of people are hardwired from math, while 74% are not. After working with thousands of kids, I can tell you this isn't the case at all. Kids don't understand math because we've been teaching it as a dehumanized subject. But if we make math human again, it will start to make sense again. You're probably wondering, how was math ever human in the first place? So think about it. Math is a human language, just like English, Spanish, or Chinese, because it allows people to communicate with each other. Even in the ancient times, people needed the language of math to conduct trade, to build monuments, and to measure the land for farming. This idea of math is a language isn't exactly new. A great philosopher once said, "The laws of nature are written in the language of mathematics." So you see, even Galileo agrees with me. But somewhere along the line, we've taken this language of math, which is about the real world around us, and with abstracts is beyond recognition, and that's why kids are confused. Let me show you what I mean. With this third grade California math standard, and see if the word makes sense to an 8-year-old. Understand a fraction 1 over b as the quantity formed by one part when whole is partitioned into b equal parts. Understand the fraction a over b as the quantity formed by a part of size 1 over b. And if you give this third question to an 8-year-old, you probably get a fraction like this. To a math expert, this standard makes sense. But to a kid, it's absolute torture. I choose this example specifically because fractions are foundation to algebra, trigonometry, and even calculus. So if kids don't understand fraction in elementary and middle school, they have a tough road ahead of them in high school. But is there a way to make fraction simple and easy for kids to understand? Yes, just remember that math is a language and use that to your advantage. For example, when I teach 5th grader how to add and subtract fraction, I start with the apple plus apple lesson. First, I ask what's 1 apple plus 1 apple, and kids will often say 2, which is partially correct. Have them include the word as well since math is language, so it's not just 2. It's 2 apples. Next is 3 pencils plus 2 pencils. You all know that pencil plus pencils give you pencils. So everyone, how many pencils? 5 pencils is right. And the key is you included the word. I tried this lesson with my 5-year-old niece once. After she added pencil and pencils, I asked her, what's 4 billion? Plus 1 billion, and my aunt overheard this and she scolded me and said, "Are you crazy? She's in kindergarten. How is she supposed to know 4 billion plus 1 billion? Undaunted, my niece finishes counting, look up and says, 5 billion? And I said, that's right, it is 5 billion. My aunt just shook her head and laughed because she did not expect the from a 5-year-old. But all you have to do is take a language approach and math becomes intuitive and easy to understand. Then I asked her a question that kindergartners are definitely not supposed to know. What's 1/3 plus 1/3? And immediately she answered 2/3. So if you're wondering how could she possibly know that when she doesn't know about numerator and denominator yet, you see, she wasn't thinking about numerator and denominators. She thought of the problem this way, and sees one apple plus one apple as an analogy to understand 1/3 plus 1/3. So if even a kindergartner can add a fraction, you better believe that every first grader can do it as well. Just for fun, I asked her a high school algebra question. What's 7x squared plus 2x squared? And this little 5-year-old girl correctly answered 9x squared. And she didn't need any exponent rules to figure that out. So when people say that we are really harder for math or not, it's not true. Math is a human language, so we all have the ability to understand it. We need to take a language approach to math urgently because too many kids are lost and are anxious about math, and it doesn't have to be that way. I worked with an angry, frustrated high school student once who couldn't pass algebra because she only knew 44% of a multiplication factor. I told her that's like trying to read and only knowing 44% of the alphabet is holding you back. She couldn't factor or solve equations and she had no confidence in math. As a result, this teenager had no confidence in herself. I told her, we have to start with multiplication because once you know all your factors by heart, everything gets easier and it will be like having a fast pass to every ride of Disneyland. What do you think? And she said, okay. So she systematically learning her times table in 4 weeks, and yes, even multiplication has language embedded in it. You'd be surprised how many kids wouldn't realize 7 times 3 can be spelled out as 7 times 3, which just means 3 7 times, just like this. So when kids see this way, they quickly realize that repeated addition is slow and inconvenient, so they gladly memorize that 3 7 times always give you 21. So for this teenager who was at risk for dropping out, becoming fluent and confident in multiplication was a game changer because for the first time, she could focus on problem solving instead of counting on her finger. I knew she had turned the corner when she figured out that a 2-year car at $445 a month would cost you $10,680. And she looked at me disapprovingly and said, Mr. Polisok, that's expensive. At that moment, math was no longer causing problem for her, but she was using math to solve problem as a responsible adult. As an educator, it's my duty to challenge kids to reach higher. So I leave you with this challenge. Our country is stuck at 26% proficiency, and I challenge you to pass that number higher. This is important because mathematical thinking not only builds your mind, but our kids need it to imagine and build a future that doesn't yet exist. Meeting this challenge can be as simple as apple plus apples. Inside that which teach as a human language, and we will get there sooner rather and later. Thank you. What is the result of changing the sound? If you think the video is good, don't forget to like it. And so that you can see other videos, don't forget to subscribe. See you later.